Hello my friends, my name is Bot Mathematician, this is Holomancer, and of course, this is the daring reporter Dora.
We are very glad to see you all again.
Let's get started.
We are broadcasting directly from Outland.
Demon hunters have broken into Hearthstone and triggered a collapse of the metagame. Illidan has become the true king, making up 1/3 of played decks. We, in turn, tried to find a way to defeat the invincible army of demon hunters. In this video, we will show you the most effective decks for each class in Standard, and some of the best decks in Wild. To do this, we analyzed HS replay statistics and considered deck analytics from many sources.
Realistically, there is no way to defeat Illidan's army. The only chance for salvation is to join the self-proclaimed king and become one of the demon hunters. If you disagree with me, look at the popularity of the class in the metagame after the second nerf. According to last week's results, Demon Hunter continues to terrorize the metagame. Illidan's influence has almost halved, but he is still the most popular hero in the game. The unbridled power of the class's strengths means it doesn't need many neutral cards. Mage, Warlock, Priest and Rogue are still fairly strong. The last nerf had a positive effect on the classes that were at the bottom after rotation. Thus, the Hunter and Shaman are gradually regaining some footing. Almost nothing has changed for Warrior and Paladin. These two classes are still the most unpopular in the game. Warrior looks doomed, and Paladin always seems to end up one of the main outsiders in the metagame despite a wide variety of archetypes.
Let's talk very briefly about the best deck for each class. We will start with the main outsider. The Warrior is in a very difficult situation. Almost all of his many archetypes became incapacitated after the rotation, and the nerfs failed to change this.
The best archetype for warriors at the moment is Egg Warrior. This is a completely new aggro deck which is able to fight the opponent's aggressive boards. The deck uses many different combos and is definitely one of the most unusual decks in the current metagame.
Due to changes in the rules for obtaining cards and packs, we no longer see the point in publishing the amount of dust needed to create a standard decks. Now that rare and common cards are very easy to collect, we will simply publish the number of epic and legendary cards that are used in each deck.
For example, our version consists of only 4 epic and 2 legendary cards. A few words about this deck's game plan. Your main goal is to use serpent eggs effectively. Damage your eggs, strengthen them, then multiply your eggs with Bloodsworn Mercenary. If this is not enough for you, destroy them using Terran Gorefiend and then bring them back to life.
Warlock hasn't received many new strategies in Ashes of Outland. As before, Galakrond Warlock remains the best choice.
This archetype didn't lose too many cards in the Year of the Phoenix, so it continues to thrive in the new meta. A recent nerf has significantly weakened the deck. The deck looks nearly the same as it did in Descent of Dragons.
In the wild, we suggest you use Cube Warlock. This is a very effective control deck that becomes almost unbeatable in the late game thanks to cards like Enthoth and Bloodreaver Gul'dan. The nerf of Quest Mage and Mechpaladin Warlock have made this deck even more effective.
The 8th position is held by Mage. Jaina does not have as wide a choice of strategies as other classes.
Spell Mage looks fun enough, though it is not always efficient. But who cares about high win rates when you can have fun?
Mage's most stable archetype is Highlander Mage. This deck is still incredibly expensive. In order to craft it you'll need 10 legendary and 5 epic cards. For this cost, you will defeat paladins, priests, and almost all warrior decks. Your main enemies remain hunters and demon hunters.
A few words about the wild mode. Secret Mage continues to terrify the latter. Once again, this deck has become one of the most popular and effective decks in Hearthstone. To be honest, I'm getting a little tired of it. But if your main goal is to quickly climb the ladder, this is probably one of the best choices in the game.
The position of the Priest remained almost unchanged after the rotation. Resurrect Priest is still Priest's best deck, but Ashes of Outlands did not provide any significant changes for the deck.
The new list only features 3 new cards: Renew, Soul Mirror and Skeletal Dragon. The deck is strong against Druid, Hunter, Warrior and Demon Hunter variants. The deck still has big troubles against almost all kinds of Shamans and Rogues.
Similarly, little has changed for Priests in the wild mode, but Highlander Priest is still very good. The Ashes of Outland expansion didn't add any new tools to the deck's arsenal. Highlander Priest is one of the few archetypes that can best Cube Warlock. Overall, this is a good control deck.
Next on the list is Druid.
Druid is doing pretty well, even under the enormous weight of the Demon Hunter class. You can choose between Embiggen, Big Druid, and Spell archetypes. Nevertheless, the last two have a slightly higher efficiency, at least that's what the statistics say.
According to the results of our testing, Big Druid is very unstable. In our opinion, Spell Druid looks much fresher and more fun.
In our version of the deck, legendary cards are not used, except for the free Kael'thas. You will need only 6 epic cards. Spell Druid's win condition remains fairly simple: survive early, then in the mid-game try to execute combos with either Exotic Mountseller or Glowfly Swarm.
We have one more deck for you that shows great results in Wild. We call it Armor Druid. This incredibly fun control deck has a 67% win rate in Wild, and allowed me to efficiently advance in the Diamond League.
This deck is endless thanks to Jade Idol, contains a huge number of spells, and contains the god of randomness, Yogg Saron. In addition, you can use a huge number of different combos depending on the situation on the board: draw cards, heal, get armor, block enemy minions or destroy them. Your victory will almost directly depend on your skills. A very flexible arsenal of tools allows you to cope with most aggressive decks, control decks and mech decks. After Quest Mage and Mechathune Warlock got nerfed, Cube Warlock remains your only serious threat. This deck embodies all the reasons that I love Wild.
In the 5th place is Shaman. The class is gradually returning to life. Despite the fact that players are experimenting with a huge number of strategies, only 2 can be called effective: Galakrond and Totem.
In the past few days, there has been a rising trend of Totem Shaman utilization compared to Galakrond Shaman. Totem Shaman is a board-oriented token deck. Your main goal is to strengthen your totems and then copy them using crazy combos. A single totem can turn into an army in a very short time. This deck is one of the best budget options out there. You can find versions that don't use any legendary cards at all.
Now let's move on to Hunter decks. Despite the fact that Rexxar has lost most of his popularity, the class remains one of the best in the game. Ashes of Outland brought us the new Beast Hunter archetype. Unfortunately, the new strategy seems too weak. Despite this, players have a choice between several effective decks. The best of them is still Dragon Hunter.
The deck appeared in the meta game after the release of Descent of Dragons, and for a long time remained one of the best. This version is another good budget version.
Before we continue to tell you about the best decks, we want to express our gratitude to our patrons. Dear friends, your support is invaluable, and allows us to continue releasing new videos. Thank you very much from our entire team.
3rd place is occupied by Rogue. Despite the class's large number of strategies, only decks using Galakrond show a positive win rate. The most effective rogue archetype is Galakrond's Secret Rogue. Our version of the deck effectively leverages the new synergies from Secrets. The deck has a 62% win rate. This deck is excellent against priests, shamans, mages and warriors, but unfortunately it is experiencing significant difficulties against the popular archetypes of hunters, demon hunters and warlocks.
2nd place is occupied by Paladin. Despite the fact that the class is one of the main outsiders in regards to popularity, it once again has one of the most effective archetypes in the game.
Ashes of Outland has brought in some exciting new tools for Murloc Paladin. Now, the deck has become pure aggro, and focuses on creating a board full of Murlocs before swinging for lethal. This deck works well with almost all archetypes except Highlander Mage and Galakrond Warlock. The main drawback of the deck is its disgustingly low win rate against all kinds of demon hunters.
In Wild mode, Mech Paladin is the best paladin tool for productive games. Unfortunately, this deck has not received any changes for a long time. And finally, it's time to talk about Demon Hunter. The release of Demon Hunter has led to the largest single class domination in the ladder we've ever seen. Even after being nerfed a second time, Tempo Demon Hunter remains a tier 1 deck. This is definitely one of the best aggro deck currently in Standard, and is even great in Wild. The current version of the deck is quite popular in the Wild format and has a win rate of about 60%. The class uses almost no neutral cards, even in Wild, since Demon Hunter's cards are so powerful.
I want to appeal to the Paladins, Mages, Druids, Warriors, and the rest of the classes. Dear friends, does the Demon Hunter deserve a 3rd wave of nerfs? Take part in the YouTube vote, and share your opinion in the comments.
Well, that's the whole list of decks for today. Before we finish the video, we want to ask you one final set of questions. Are you satisfied with your collection of cards from Ashes of Outland? Have you already crafted all the most important cards for the decks you want to play?
If this video was useful to you, please like, subscribe and click the bell icon.
Alright, that's all for today. Thank you for being with us.
And special thanks to Chris for text editing.
We will meet in new videos.
Good luck.